Good morning. Today is Thursday, June 9th, and the New Jersey Morning Show is live. I'm Cara DeFalco.
And I'm Christina Bear. We got a great show for you this morning for sure.
So I'm so excited that we're finally here together in person. It's been a minute. We've been trying to get this organized. There were some COVID issues, some vacation issues.
Yeah.
Now we have some height issues. Christina's about 10.5 inches taller than I am.
This is me when I sit up straight.
Yeah, so
like Mama always told me.
Yeah, exactly. This is it. So I was like 15 before I could ride the rides.
I'll lounge like this.
Yeah, just it's casual. We have fun here. You're fine.
I was this height, I was telling Cara, when I was 10 years old, so I always knew a picture day to get to the back of the line because they always did it by height order. So it was like, okay, fine, I know where to go.
Oh, see, and I was always the front of the line because I have always been the shortest. Yeah, it's the first thing people say to me when they meet. They're like, "You're so tiny."
Oh, that's
like,
funny.
yes, I am a fully grown adult. I promise.
But you know what? If the seats are the worst of our issues, we're doing pretty well.
We're doing pretty good. We're so far so good on a Thursday morning. Let's check in. Meteorologist Mike Favettis here. He's average height, fully grown adult male. Good morning, Mike. How you doing?
But I feel the struggle, Christina, when the teacher looks at you in grammar school and goes, "What are you doing at the front? You go right to the back of the line." Yeah, when you're 7 and don't really understand New Jersey sarcasm yet. But we've got plenty of sunny weather on the way. After a stormy morning, it was, well, a little rumbly here across New Jersey with some thunderstorms rolling through early this morning. Maybe woke you up early on before the sun was up. Well, now into the rest of the day, the clouds start to clear out, and we've got a beautiful finish to this afternoon. It also feels a touch humid, much like it should toward the middle of June as we wake up early on this Thursday morning. Yes, Thursday morning, as we're coming to you live this morning here for NJ On Air. 82 degrees, our forecast high. It will be plenty of sunny weather throughout this afternoon, and that really sets the trend for a better looking weekend. Now, earlier in the week, there was a lot of rain in the forecast for this weekend, but that system is actually winding down, and I think we'll see a little bit more sun than initially expected. So that's some great news, trying to salvage the rest of what we can as we head into our next weekend. The highs today will be well into the upper 70s up in Sussex. Flemington, 80 degrees for you, 82 in the state capital there in Trenton, 81 in Belmar, and 78 degrees over in Atlantic City. With that clearing sky throughout the day, it'll feel very pleasant to get out and maybe enjoy some beach time this afternoon before the crowds head to the shore this weekend. We'll take another check of your forecast coming up and look at the trend in the longer range beyond the next few days. That's coming up. Christina and Cara in just a few minutes.
All right, Mike. Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Hopefully the trend is our friend
Yes.
weather-wise too. Let's check in now with Don Smith on how the ride is looking, and hopefully it's our friend too on the roadways.
Yeah, right.
Don.
Yeah, that's right, Christina. Good morning to you. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Mike. I've certainly heard that trend is your friend many times. All right, so let's go to our maps here, guys. We'll start things off here in Vauxhall, which is actually a section of Union along westbound Route 78, just before Vauxhall Road on the express side of things. We do have a crash in the process of being cleared, but I want to show you this camera here this morning. We're back onto the Garden State Parkway because it's also this is another issue. Looks like heading north into Irvington, but this is 78 going from right to left. That's why that is really super heavy there. So stay with the local side, let's say coming out of the hillside area. Let's widen up the map, and again, it's just in this Irvington area. I think something else just happened at exit 143 or so. The Turnpike Bay Extension east getting a little bit busier here now at 14 north on the Turnpike from 13A into 14, and then getting up into 15E is a solid ride. But the eastern spur, western spurs are fine. Parkway a little heavier at 150, and then up in North Jersey here, south along 208 is fairly solid ride getting into Maple Avenue. Same thing on 17 both ways at Essex Street and Lodi. And then as you travel through Parsippany, both ways of 80, fairly heavy at the 287 interchange. Let's take a look at Central Jersey now. Just some light congestion on 287 in Edison through South Plainfield. And then again, as you make your way in towards Bound Brook, we widen it up even further now. The Turnpike Parkway through Monmouth County, Middlesex County looks great. 195 heading down the shore. The Parkway, we're fine. Still a little congestion here along 295 heading north into Route 73. And let's give you a check of New Jersey Transit. If you're heading out to Atlantic City here this morning, that 917 is going to be about 25-30 minutes late because of the Delair Bridge opening. Path trains are looking good, and we'll take a look at our Hudson River crossings. We're going to say a blanket coverage of about 25 to 30 minutes across the board. That's what's happening here in the traffic center. Cara and Christina, send it back over to you.
so much. Love it. Always styling. All right, did you hear about this one? This was crazy. A 12-foot large great white shark, a great white, was spotted swimming off the coast of Sea Isle City this last weekend. Crazy.
Oh my goodness, look at this. I heard the story, but I hadn't seen the video.
Crazy. Unbelievable. Wow. Well, a few people out fishing on their boat, they spotted this thing while they were swimming, or while they were on the boat. It was swimming in the water next to them. Never bothered them, though, or the boat. So that's the good news. The videos they took drew a ton of attention on social media, of course, after one of them was shared by the Coast Guard station in Cape May. And I think one of the boat riders was just basically saying, yeah, we were shocked at how docile it was and how it didn't even bother them.
I think that's one of the things that, all of us who grew up in like that Jaws era, like I think we kind of automatically go there, but they're really not. It's like the bears in New Jersey. Like they're really not interested in you.
Yeah, if you don't bother them, they're not going to bother you. Although, obviously there are attacks every now and then with swimmers, but yeah, I mean, it's just how incredible. A great white. That's
what I'm saying. We don't think of that here. Like, I feel like we think of them as like tropical animals, but they come up here.
Yeah.
They're we have a few of them in the area.
But listening to that social media video, you can hear the guy being like, "What?
How could you not? How could you not?" Even I went whale watching one time, and we went out to see them, and it's still incredible when you see these animals like in their natural habitat.
They exist.
They exist.
They are
there. It is
real. It's amazing. But check out the video for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, New Jersey politics reporter Laura Jones is joining us now. It's been a very busy week, Laura. It seems like the courts are having a similar problem of having to do with businesses. They don't have enough people working there. This has been a long-going problem.
Yeah. Laura, what's going on?
Hey, ladies, good to see you both. Well, yeah, New Jersey is facing a number of judicial vacancies, and this is the historic proportions. Many are blaming Governor Murphy and the Democratic majority legislature, for not appointing judges. Now in New Jersey, we appoint judges, we do not elect judges, and the lack of judges is leading to some major delays in New Jersey's courts. We have backlogs at the MVC, all of this due to COVID, and now all of these judicial vacancies, and it's pushing back proceedings from everything from divorces to child custody hearings, child support, not to mention criminal cases. And I spoke recently with the president of the New Jersey State Bar Association, Geraldine Lawrence, about the vacancies.
The only way to fix this is the legislature and the governor need to collaborate together and act with the sense of urgency that the circumstances dictate. We do not have time. Time is not on our side anymore. So whatever the reason that they have to be behind or opposed to their candidate, they have to figure it out. We don't have time anymore. So that until Governor Murphy nominates candidates and the legislature can review and confirm them, we're still at a standstill.
So a few statistics. There are 3 seats vacant on the New Jersey State Supreme Court. 75 out of the 433 on Superior Courts are vacant. That's 17% vacant. Wow. And ladies, in talking with Geraldine of the New Jersey Bar Association, the domino effect that we're dealing with, her colleagues are reporting, when you have families that are in the middle of a divorce, kids are caught up in the middle of that, and you can't get closure. You can't go on to move on to get a new loan. You can't get that closure to move on, and as a result, children are attempting suicide. And that domino effect, it's just really, really catastrophic. They're calling it a crisis. And there are 9 counties that don't have any divorce trials. So what they're having to do is take some of the criminal court attorneys and push them to the family courts. Crisis. And then when you look at that bigger picture too of when sadly, when you have these shootings and when you look at suicides, people are upset, they're angry, they're tense. And when you're in the middle of very difficult, especially in that family law area is what Geraldine was really talking about. The domino effect is really, really sad and catastrophic.
And you know what, Laura, it really is something that I think we don't think about much, where it's like, you understand people go through divorce and it's hard on everybody or things like that, but it never even occurred to me that like delaying it by that much, what that would mean for the people involved, for the family, for the kids, and that you really are, your hands are tied.
It's true.
Your hands are tied. You cannot go and get a new loan because you haven't been able to divide the assets. So if you want to go get an apartment,
Right, you haven't liquidated anything.
You can't, exactly. And it's the end of the school year. They're backed up upwards of an additional 6 months. You want to get settled. You want that, you need
that time to
that stability to know, where am I going to go to school? Where am I going to live? And a lot of families don't have that across the state.
Yeah. Laura, and I'm just thinking even on the criminal end, I don't know if New Jersey has a standard for this, but we understand we have a right to a speedy trial. I mean, is there a point where people can say, hey, you guys need to get on this or toss this case because you're not providing me my rights?
That is exactly, I asked Carolyn about that, and she was saying that is something that is going to be looked at because everybody's afforded that due process. You're innocent until proven guilty. But if you're being held up, longer than you should be, there could be quite the domino effect. They're right now kind of just operating almost in an emergency, trying to cover their bases right now in that kind of crisis management. And then I think down the line, there could be serious repercussions of people being let go who maybe should not be let go, and then other people who might be guilty who are going to walk because they weren't afforded that due process.
Yeah,
so it's a big story, and because COVID and because inflation, gas prices, all of that are taking precedent in the headlines. You don't always hear about things like the courts. And I was, it's shocking. 3 seats on the state Supreme Court are vacant.
Yeah.
I keep thinking this has got to be unconstitutional. So that's a story that's definitely going to be developing, and was eye-opening and very sad because at the end of the day, young children are caught up in the middle. And children are at the hospital because her colleagues are reporting more children are cutting. There are children committing suicide, depression, anxiety, and then all of this, the domino effect. It's filtering down and having just a very very negative and unfortunate.
Laura Jones, thank you so much for bringing this to. I mean, really something I never would have thought of had you not come to me with it. So thank you very much. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
We're going to switch gears now, and New Jersey ranks 11th in the country for small businesses, but some say the Garden State makes it a little tough to start a food business from home. Hudson Kitchen is a food business incubator with 8,000 square feet of production, storage, and co-working space, and joining us now is founder Janaba Jones. Welcome to the show. I'm apologizing because I'm losing my voice a little. I'm trying not to cough while live on the air.
We're going to let Christina take a sip of water here. Good morning, Janaba. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We're so happy to have you. So listen, tell us, and Janaba and I met several years ago, actually, but you guys all know food is also my thing. So Janaba, tell us about Hudson Kitchen. What is it and who does it serve?
Sure. We are a food business incubator that provides entrepreneurs with the necessary resources and support to start, sustain, and scale a profitable food business. And we do that through access to our 8,000 square foot commercial kitchen, co-working, and storage facility, as well as through mentorship and education.
Janaba, now when you say a food business, like what does that mean? Again, you and I kind of know a bit about that, but more specifically, like somebody who's making granola bars to sell at the farmer's market, somebody who's doing a YouTube channel, like who comes to Hudson Kitchen?
Sure. So we work with consumer packaged goods companies, those that are wholesaling into grocery, also those that create cakes and things like that and wholesale them to restaurants, as well as food trucks and meal prep companies as well.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you kind of act as like that commissary, that full commercial kitchen, that prep kitchen that people can come and legally use, and you've got the health codes, health approvals and things along those lines.
Everything, like we are a home for food businesses. Like we even have a shower, so if you needed to stay and work, you could go get yourself ready to go for the next day.
I love that you did that. Coming from news and having worked overnights for many years, I can tell you how valuable a shower in the place of work would have been. So kudos to you for that.
Legit dedication too.
Yeah,
for sure. What made you want to create Hudson Kitchen too?
So a couple of years ago, I wanted to create a food business and couldn't find any information or a kitchen to cook in. I was struggling to just find out do I license my business and register the business and get food safety certifications. And in addition to that, I couldn't find a place to cook. People I know, I was talking to them, they were going into Brooklyn or going into North Jersey to cook food. And I thought, I'm here, I'm in the Hudson County, Jersey City area, and there should be a kitchen here for businesses like me. So that's why I started the kitchen.
I love it. So you recently released your impact report for Hudson Kitchen. Can you kind of give us a little breakdown of what you're looking at for this year, for 2022?
Sure. So while I founded the business in 2015 and we started out with doing workshops and networking events, I opened the physical location in December of 2019. And I'm so happy to say that over the past 2 years, the businesses that we've worked with about 28 businesses. They have created 58 jobs and generated $9 million in collective revenue here in the state of New Jersey. And it is it's mind blowing when you think about it. It's crazy.
That's awesome. You're also up for a Essence and Pine Sol Build Your Legacy Contest grant. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So Essence and Pine Sol got together and they really wanted to support Black women entrepreneurs. And there is a $100,000 prize. Wow. And out of 400 entries, I was selected as one of the 3 finalists. And I really want to win this contest, and I need your help. I need the public is going to vote and to determine the winner. So if those could go, those that are watching here can go to thehudsonkitchen.com. You can click on the link there and vote for Janaba Johnson Jones. Thank you.
Awesome.
That is incredible.
Click.
Yes, exactly. We will be right on that. Yeah. So Janaba, where can folks once again find you, find Hudson Kitchen?
Sure. So you can go to our website, thehudsonkitchen.com, and also follow us on Instagram at The Hudson Kitchen.
Janaba Jones, Hudson Kitchen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
And good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love it. That's awesome. Well, we love when you guys share what's going on with us on social media. And we had to share this story that came into us. It's amazing. Meet 9-year-old Antonio Zayas from Camden.
So he was recently diagnosed with leukemia. Antonio is also autistic. Campaign One at a Time is a nonprofit working to raise money to send Antonio and his family on a dream vacation to the Nickelodeon theme park. They're hoping to raise about $5,000, and you can help by logging on to oaat.org/Stay Strong Antonio. We absolutely love this. We hope he gets to go. I think that's fantastic. I love just stories like that.
Yeah, so now you have 2 tasks. You have to vote for Janaba.
Yes.
And now you also have to help out Antonio to make that dream come true.
Yes.
For sure.
We're giving you homework today.
Yeah, exactly. Check and check.
Check and check. All right, guys, coming up, The Boss makes a guest appearance at a New Jersey concert.
If you haven't seen this video, you have to stay tuned. And we're going to check another check of the forecast. Will it be a beach weekend or weekend washout? Boo. And don't forget to check us out on social media. We'll keep you updated on who's coming up on the show and posting your favorite clips to share with your friends.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We are school teachers. We are leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show.
Let's get a check of the forecast once again. Meteorologist Mike Favetta. A lot of us have plans for the weekend, Mike. Are you going to deliver the good news or the bad news?
I think we've got decent news. It's certainly not a washout.
Cozy,
Yeah.
Cozy, exactly. Just a little bit of sun, a little bit of cloud cover. We start off this morning, though, with extra clouds, leftover showers from those downpours we had overnight. Even some thunderstorms came through certain parts of the state earlier this morning. Now going into the afternoon, breaks of sun, we warm up, and it will feel very pleasant going ahead. We get a little bit of rain that returns tomorrow, I think, once we get into later on tomorrow night. But most of tomorrow looks actually quite pleasant with lots of sunshine. A pretty superb day. Then we get into the weekend, and there is the threat of a few passing showers, especially later on Saturday, and then again clearing out for Sunday. But it is quiet going into next week after a bit of shower activity this weekend. Beyond the weekend, however, I think we have a long-range trend of above-average temperatures, just like we've seen in the past, where if you go out beyond the 7-day forecast, we can kind of get a glimpse as to what will happen temperature-wise in the longer range up to about 2 weeks ahead. And there is a warmer-than-average pattern that sets up, meaning that there will be some 90-degree days in our immediate future, especially as we look beyond the 7-day. As far as the meantime, short term, the 3-day forecast shows plenty of sunshine today, especially this afternoon. A beautiful day tomorrow as highs climb into the upper 70s and low 80s. Then there's some shower chances with extra clouds on Saturday and Sunday, and temperatures take a little bit of a dip back into the 70s. You'll notice a little humidity moving in as well, as it'll be quite muggy this upcoming weekend with a little bit of rain in the forecast. Next week's weather looks great. We'll show you that with the 7-day forecast and give you some details on what the past summers have done when we're in a La Nina year. All those details coming up in just a few minutes. Christina, Kara?
Mike, I always love all of our meteorological lessons that we get. I feel so informed.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
You bet.
Let's get another check your roads now. Don Smith, how are we looking, Don, so far? Not too bad, right?
Yeah, really not a terrible ride. Christina, good morning to you. Good morning, Kara, and good morning, Mikey in the Weather Center. Let's go to the maps here. I want to show you the incident page from our friends over at State DOT this morning. They're saying there's a water main break on 23 now, shutting down everything just south of 94 in the Hamburg area. Let's go to the maps to show you where that is. It's literally just out here out by the Hamburg Hot Bagel. So hopefully the bagel shop is not without water, right? Because you need water to make good bagels, and we just have great water here in New Jersey for that. So again, southbound 23 is going to be closed just south of the 94 interchange at this point. Not really seeing a whole lot of traffic, so again, we'll keep an eye on that as well. I want to show you the Parkway cameras here this morning because there was another issue getting up into East Orange on the Parkway going north over by 145. We're here 144. That broken down vehicle has now been cleared, so that is some good news there. Starting to thin it out, but we're still pretty heavy back to 78. Let's widen up the maps here. We'll show you kind of northwestern Jersey. So Sussex County is good. 15 in Sparta is rolling along nicely. 80 is really in fantastic shape. Still a little crowding east into Parsippany, but really that's going to be about it. 208, even that's settling down here out by Maple Avenue. And again, the Parkway still pretty busy into 280, but the eastbound side of the Bay Extension, still seeing a lot of traffic there at interchange 14 for the Turnpike. The Turnpike Parkway through Union County is good. 287 through Central Jersey looks fantastic. Edison, South Plainfield into Bridgewater, even the Parkway at the Driscoll Bridge is good. A lot of, traffic light delays here along Route 1 through the South Brunswick area. 18 Parkway through Monmouth County is moving along nicely. So is 33 and 195. 295 is still a little tied up here as you come out towards Route 38. So look for that. And then 70 is a heavy ride both ways east of 295. That's where the crash still in the process of being clear. Let's check up on the delays with the AC rail line. That is still about 25 minutes late there this morning, and that's because of that delay or bridge opening. These are the Hudson River numbers, on average about 25 to 30, pretty much across the board. So it's settling down, from kind of the action here early this morning. A lot of it very early was certainly weather related. Traffic and weather always go together. So with that weather now, as Mike has said, is pulling out, traffic beginning to settle down just a bit. That's it from here in the traffic center. Send it back to the studio to Christina and Kara.
Much. Well, this was some big news this week for sure. Netflix has officially placed a bid for a 289-acre portion of Fort Monmouth. It's a former Army base located in Monmouth County. Now, the property is located in both Eatontown and Oceanport. It was appraised for $54 million.
Wild. And in addition to Netflix, 3 other firms have submitted bids. So the proposals are now going to go into review based on the following criteria, including proposed projects' estimated job creation, capital investment, and positive economic impact on both the municipalities and the state. So definitely keeping a close eye on that one.
Yeah.
It would be so cool if Netflix was here.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, New Jersey seems to be turning into like a TV and movie mecca, right? With going on in Newark, the whole studio being built there. I mean, it's just amazing how much opportunity could be coming to the state.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely something to keep an eye on, and we will.
We will, for sure. Speaking of money, you know, this is a big topic. Jessica Perrone, she's a single mom of 3 teen girls and a 16-year finance veteran who's on a mission to teach women of all ages, even us included, how to speak the language of money, finance, and investing. And it's a very hard language to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, good morning, Jessica. So she's developed an innovative curriculum that breaks down finance into approachable and fun classes for females of all backgrounds. She's joining us this morning to talk about teen finances because it's summer job season and your kids are a hot commodity this year. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning to you guys. Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. It's really awesome.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. And we need you. I know I need you.
I need it. I don't know what I'm doing.
My math and money skills they're just not there. They're not there. But we really wanted to talk to you about, and I remember because this has been a big story as well. There's a record number of teens getting hired this summer. Businesses, especially the hospitality industry, is just scrambling for seasonal employees. Any words of advice of what teens can do with their earnings from their summer jobs?
Absolutely. And this is a conversation that parents can have with their teens. So I know my teens, money just burns holes in their pockets. Anyone else feel that way too, right? When they're having conversations with their teens, or even like, sometimes when you have like a paycheck or something, you're like, ooh, this money, I have a little extra this month. That's burning a hole in my pocket, right? Well, number one conversation that you can have with your teen is just the savings rules. Now, for adults, basically what you want to do is post-tax income. You want to put 50% towards needs, 30% towards wants, and then 20% towards savings. Now, big people have big people costs, right? You have your fixed costs, you have your variable costs, but teens, they don't have these costs, right? So my rule that I tell my teens in my teen classes, I'm like, look, ladies and gentlemen, we want to be putting away at least 50% of our after-tax income in either a savings account or an investment account. So that's like the first conversation that you can have with your teens. Now, the second conversation that you can have with your teens is, whether or not they want to put it in a high yield savings account, or even in an IRA. So, in order to get these funds invested, it's interesting to check out or talk to your financial professional about the benefits of a Roth IRA. But right off the bat, some of the rules and some of the benefits of a Roth, especially for teens, is that as long as you have taxable income, right, you at any age can put contributions towards a Roth IRA. It's so neat. Isn't that neat? Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that?
Idea.
I had no
idea. I'm the worst when it comes to this.
Yeah. So there's just a couple stipulations that you want to think about. So it has to be tax income. So not under the table, not working at the pizza shop.
Yeah, not those tips. Okay.
It needs to be taxable income. So that's the number one rule that you want to be thinking about. The second rule here is that you can only contribute up to the amount. Okay, so first of all, it's capped. Contributions are capped at $6,000 a year to the Roth. However, if your teen is making $4,000 a year, right? They're making $4,000 a year. Well, you can only contribute up to $4,000 to that Roth. So it's a total contribution of $6,000, but you're limited to how much income you are making in that year as well.
Okay. Okay.
Well, you mentioned if a teen starts investing in a Roth IRA, is it true that they could potentially be a millionaire by retirement time?
Yes. Okay. So everyone has seen these social media posts, right? Like the TikToks and the Instas, like be a millionaire by the time you retire, right? So this is how these are the technical numbers behind it, and you can actually put this into a free compounding interest calculator online, so you can find it. I think NerdWallet has one and whatnot. But the actual numbers behind this, and just let me read them here so I get everything right. And I actually have two scenarios here. I have the first scenario where an individual starts contributing at the age of 15, and then how much less is available at retirement if they start contributing at 35. So I've actually put together these two scenarios to tell you about. Wow. So the first one is that you have a teen that starts investing at the age of 15. They max out their contributions on a yearly basis. So they're putting that $6,000 into the IRA. And they're doing this every single year for 50 years. Okay. So with compounding interest, by the time they get to the age of 65, that future balance could be potentially as high as $2,786,658.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, yes, but if you start at 35, that potential future balance is only $652,000 and 11. Yeah, $112. That's such a big difference, right? That delay is such a big difference, and that's why we want to get our teens investing early for sure. And you know what, Missy, Kara, I'm telling you, you can do it, girl. You can learn the language of investing in money. It's not hard.
All right, wait, now I have a question because just given those two examples that you just gave, for those of us who are a little over 35, what do we do now that we have a whole lot of regret about the last 20 years and our savings? What do we do now?
Well, okay, so there's in my program I talk about various action plans. But the number one thing that I found when I created my program, so I have my classes, I have my show, the Her Investing Coffee Talk, and what I found actually was that a lot of people came to me and my Investing for Beginners class with a lot of debt. So I created a checklist of getting your financial ducks in a row before investing. And one of those things is just paying off really bad debt. So the first step before thinking about investing, especially for women, is looking at your financial ducks. And there's 5 financial ducks that I've identified. And that is, yes. And as a mom, I wanted to be able to make this relatable to women across all backgrounds, right? So who does not have a rubber ducky for bath time, right? And everyone knows what getting their financial ducks in a row means, right?
Anytime somebody says getting their ducks in the row, though, I just think of that meme that says, I don't have ducks, I have squirrels, and they're at a rave. So
I've seen that one. It's so true. It's so true.
It's so much worse than ducks.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. I totally hear you. But so the financial ducks are, we're talking about budgeting. We're talking about paying down bad debt. We're talking about saving up for your emergency funds. And these are all aspects of your ducks that you need to get into a row before you even think about investing. Because if you have credit card debt that is at 20%, 23%, 18%, then it makes no sense to be investing in an account that has a potential estimated return of 6%, right? It just doesn't make any sense. So you really, really, really want to pay down bad debt and get all your financial ducks in a row before even starting to learn the language, before starting to invest. But along the way, you can learn the language of investing so that you are not intimidated. You're not intimidated. You can go out there and talk to your financial advisor. You can have that conversation with your husband. You can join in the household finance conversation. And these are ways that women can empower themselves just by learning the language of investing.
That's so critical. It really is. True. I mean, I know we had a lot of fun with this, but it really, especially for women, I think to have their own money and to have an understanding of their own money and to start them when they're young, to start with our kids and say, hey, listen, 50% of that, sock it away.
Yeah.
You'll thank me later. Jessica, where can people find you, your business, your classes? Where do we go?
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So my website is Fin IQ. That's her, as in the fin of a fish, IQ. And then my handle is her Fin IQ. So if you go to Insta, if you go to Facebook, YouTube, I do have a show every Thursday morning, the Her Investing Coffee Talk, right, where I look at different concepts in everyday life. So today, actually at 10 o'clock, right after your show. So if you guys want to tune into my show right afterwards at 10 o'clock, it is live on YouTube.
We'll just flip YouTube channels.
Yes,
the world we live in.
absolutely. Just change the channel. You can also catch the replays on my website. But for example, today I'm talking about Target and how they're going to be cutting their inventory and what that means to you sales-wise and saving money. And I'm also going to be, I integrate money topics and concepts with investing. All really relatable, not intimidating at all, fun. As you can tell by me, I'm not approachable or fun.
No, clearly not.
That's the approach I take to investing in money, so that women are not intimidated, and I create a safe environment where questions are welcome and there's no such thing as a stupid question.
And when all else fails, just call Jessica.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Well, coming up on the show, if you're a mom, you've been there. Even Princess Kate couldn't keep little Prince Louis from having a full-on meltdown at his grandmother's Jubilee celebration. So how can us mamas keep our cool when our little ones can't, aside from having a glass of wine?
Yeah.
We've got a pro with all the tips to help us out, for sure.
Yeah, you know what? And then what about us fur mamas? We'll tell you about a new place for your pup. And don't forget, you can follow us online at NJ Morning Show. We're always looking forward to hearing from you.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We are school teachers. We are leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show.
Let's get another check your forecast. Meteorologist Mike Favetta is here, and he's looking at the weekend, and it's a little iffy at this point.
Little
right,
iffy,
Mike?
yeah. Christina and Kara, have you noticed it's gotten a little warmer in the last few weeks? And it seems like it's getting warmer earlier each summer with some really excessive heat just a few weeks ago. Well, that's been the trend here in New Jersey over the last several summers. People like Climate Central over in Princeton have been monitoring this and putting out some really useful information to kind of tell the story of what's been happening locally, for instance, here in Newark. So over the last 30 or 40 years, we've actually seen days that have been above average temperature come about 9 days earlier. And you've noticed that, yeah, we see these temperature trends. It seems like summers are a little bit longer now with the warmer weather. How about places like down in Atlantic County, such as in Atlantic City? We've had an even longer stretch of summer there. And if you look at Atlantic City's information, the next slide, you will see with an even longer period of warm weather, yeah, it goes up to 19 days, almost 3 weeks longer of a summer there, due to a little bit of a warmer start and a later finish. You can almost get 2 growing seasons in, and some of the farmers here in New Jersey in the agriculture industry kind of taking advantage of that, with some of the produce coming in a little bit earlier than it usually does and going a little bit later into the season. Now, regarding the next few days beyond the weekend, that looks a little bit cooler than average. In fact, we'll only be in the lower 70s, that due to some extra clouds and a few showers on Saturday and Sunday. Get all the sunshine you can tomorrow on Friday, 80 degrees as the high, and we once again hit the 80s yet again on Monday with mostly sunny skies. Now, going into next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, those temperatures stay quite warm. We're back into the low 80s with mostly sunny skies on Tuesday, Tuesday, and then a few extra clouds by Wednesday. So beyond the rainy, at times, weekend, it's not all that bad. In fact, it improved a lot than just a few days ago. I think we're looking forward to a warmer week ahead with temperatures that will feel a little more like July come the next 7 to 10 days. So get ready for some heat. Get the air conditioners all set because they'll be cranking out some cool air, especially as we feel the heat here in New Jersey in just a few days.
Oh boy. Wait, I have a question though, because I feel like, are we setting up for one of those summers where like it rains every weekend and then it's nice Monday through Friday? Because a lot of people are not going to be happy with that.
I hope not, because I can't take another summer of that. You know, I feel like the complaint department just keeps on fulfilling these ridiculous requests. It's like, no, I cannot make it sunny 6 weekends from now for your outdoor party. That's not the way this works.
We're going to send them all to you, Mike, all the complaints.
They're all forwarded to you.
Thank you.
You bet.
All right, Don Smith is here to give us a look at the road. So if you are playing hooky today, Don, and maybe you're headed down the Parkway, what are we looking at?
Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Christina. And good morning, Mike. The Parkway is looking good, but we have to go to the maps. We have another issue here. This is going to be in Marlton. This is westbound 70 is now shut just before the Turnpike and 295, and that's being reported with a building fire. I also think there is a crash involved in that as well. So again, this is it here going west into 295 this morning. Let me show you to the camera as we go. Let's see if we can see anything here in real time. I know the DOT had zoomed this camera in here at Old Orchard Road just a minute ago, trying to find out what the story is. Hopefully the camera will come up. Let's see what's going on here. So nothing there. So let's go back. We'll let that reload. And then we go to 23. We're still closed here with a water main break out by the Hamburg Bagels there on 23 south of 94. And then we've got the drawbridge open on 19 truckers 1 and 9 both ways at the Hackensack River drawbridge here this morning. And let's zoom in here. Let's see if we can get this camera to work. Hopefully that will be for us up and running now. And it's right in here. So it's more than likely this camera here at Hackensack Avenue. See if that comes up. Again, the lifts for those bridges usually only last just a few minutes, but certainly can tie drivers up, I should say, coming out of the western sections of Jersey City. But really, this is the problem here, especially if you connect in Marlton on 73, heading out to 295, and then 295 south again is heavy because of what is this building fire still being reported here this morning. And again, that's really a terrible shot, but this is looking west here on just a sea of cars and trucks. I was hoping to maybe see some of the smoke there coming from that fire, but we'll stay on top of that in the traffic center. Other than that, South Jersey looks good. Kara, there's your Parkway is fine from AC through Long Beach Island, through Toms River, on through Monmouth County, even Central Jersey, 287, 78. We're looking pretty good. And also on 80 out of Parsippany, traffic is fantastic. Really, the congestion here is going to be on the Skyway getting out towards the Holland Tunnel, which is running about 20 minutes. And then the northbound Turnpike is really heavy into 15E onto the Eastern Spur. Eastbound 3, a little heavy here at the Turnpike. The Parkway finally easing it up in towards Bloomfield. Well, another 10 minutes, that should be gone. But 80 through Woodland Park and Patterson is good. Same thing along Route 4, and 17 is fine. These are the fresh numbers at the Hudson River crossings now. 23 at the George, about 20 at the Lower, about 35 at the Lincoln, and 20 at the Holland. So really the worst of the three Hudson Rivers is going to be the Lincoln Tunnel, and still about 15 to 20 on the AC rail line getting into AC. Some issues there with that Delaire bridge being in the upright position. Seems like it takes forever to get that put down. That's what's happening here in the traffic center. Again, just avoid that area, Marlton, for the foreseeable future now on westbound 70, getting up to 295 with that building fire still being worked on. Kara and Christina, we'll send it back over to you.
All right, Don, thanks so much. We'll check back in with you in just a little bit. All the words, Kara. Don Smith keeping us covered.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, speaking of driving, you may have noticed a few less bucks in your wallet. Gas in New Jersey officially gone over $5 a gallon on average. It's unbelievable.
It really is. And I drive the smallest car ever, and it's still insane. The place that so many of us go for relief, Costco, just announced that starting next month, only members can fill up there. So many of us were going for cheap gas.
Yeah, I know, but back in 2004, Costco was told by the state that they couldn't restrict the sale of gasoline to just members only. I didn't know this. So far, they haven't said why they're making the change back, and the state hasn't yet tried to stop them. For me, I would stop in the Edison one, and they always asked for my card. So I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, apparently it was like they started it with members only, and then there was some
And they
rule that
pushed
you
back.
can't limit the gas, and then
Oh.
now there's just, they haven't like made a formal announcement, but there's like signs posted that's
Yeah.
like gas is for members only, and I'm like,
How do you do that?
How are you getting away with that?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see in the next couple of weeks. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll see a little bit of relief in the next couple of days.
Yeah, please.
But it went up again just overnight, another 4 cents.
Well, and I
So-
know the only other ones that they really can't do too much with are like the Parkway and the Turnpike
Yeah.
rest stops. They can only change the prices one day out of the week. So those are the only other ones that
Only one day.
Only one
That's
day out of the
fine.
week. So you got to get them on, like, you got to get them today. I think it's like a Thursday, and they can change it on a Friday. So
Hot mess. I'm not liking this at all.
yeah, it's gonna be a rough summer driving season.
Yes.
All right, so you and I were talking about this one a little
Yes.
earlier today. I love this story. You guys have probably seen the hilarious and all too familiar video of little Prince Louis behaving, well, like a child at his great-grandmother's Jubilee celebration.
And Kate Middleton has had plenty of support and also criticism, though, for how she handled her 4-year-old son. It's unbelievable. Some say she handled it with the grace of a princess. Others say that she let him get out of control. There's so much to say on this topic. Bethany Braun Silva is the former editor at parenting.com, one of the most trusted resources for parents online. I love this resource. Bethany joins us now to talk about the best ways to handle those difficult parenting moments, and there are plenty.
Oh my goodness. Bethany, good morning. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I have really been dying to discuss this topic, and I'm really so grateful I have the opportunity to discuss it with both of you this morning. Like you said, the internet is a buzz over this. I mean, one scroll through Instagram, Facebook, wherever you get your news, they can't stop talking about Prince Louis' outburst at the Platinum Jubilee. Like you said, Christina, some people are saying he acted like a spoiled brat. Other people said he acted just like a normal 4-year-old. I am on the latter. I think he was acting just like a normal 4-year-old. But I think what parents, especially moms, loved about this moment is that they were able to relate to a very unrelatable family. So I have 3 tips for navigating these toddler outbursts in public for when they happen, not if they happen, but for when they happen.
I love it. What are some of those tips? My favorite, by the way, I'm just going to chime in before you get to those tips, was when he went like this to Kate.
Yeah, that was
because it was the most proper, improper way of behaving.
Yes,
I was like,
so
that's
British.
really cute. Like just I was like, wow, my son has never done that before, but I'm like kind of impressed. Anyway.
Yeah, very British, very proper way of kind of, like giving his mom the, whatever. But anyway, okay, so the first tip is to stay calm. I know it's so hard. I have 2 boys. My 6-year-old gives me a run for my money in public nearly every day. But our kids look to us to be that anchor, to be their grounding. So if we're, kind of losing our head, losing our cool, yelling, acting crazy, then it's just going to blow up. The whole situation's going to be totally exacerbated. And I think Kate really did a fantastic job. She was firm, but calm. She kept moving that hand down, and then kind of just like ignoring him, right? So I think that really is the key. If you are with another adult, the other parent, a grandparent, and you are about to lose your cool, walk away if the kid is safe, count to 10, regroup, and just breathe. That's tip number 1.
That's a really good tip for sure.
Bethany, is there anything we can do? I feel like, is there any like preventative measures, like
Yes.
things we can do beforehand? I have true story confession here. So I don't have human children, but I have a dog. And if I take her for a walk
Same
before we
thing.
do anything, like if I wear her out a little bit, she's much better behaved wherever we go.
Kara, that was actually my second tip. I mean, parents, we know our kids. We definitely know when they're more prone to a tantrum, on certain days rather than others. Maybe they miss their nap. Maybe they haven't eaten. Maybe they're off their regular schedule. Or in the case of Prince Louis, we've now heard that he was really kind of jacked up on a lot of sugar. So it's safe to say that Duchess Kate kind of could anticipate what was going to happen, right? So if you are seeing a tantrum coming on, my tip is to distract your child. If you're outside, ask them to count the number of red cars, green cars, blue cars. If you're inside, put them, ask them to count the number of windows. This is sort of the same tips that, psychologists recommend if, grown-ups, adults are having an anxiety attack. Just kind of get in touch with your surroundings, get grounded. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? This activates a different part of the brain, and it sort of makes us more rational. So if you're seeing that happen with your kid, get them to sort of activate their physical senses, touch, sight, smell, sound, whenever you can. So that's tip number 2, and I have one more after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a catch-22, especially for her, because here you have this long jubilee that even the queen was like, deuces, I'm out. I'm not even going to sit through all this. And here you're expecting a 4-year-old to sit through all of this who has no idea what's going on. So you really, I mean, I felt for her as a mama. I could see it in her face, all the cameras pointed at her in the world. But what can we do as mamas to prepare ourselves for a big or just really long day with these little ones?
You know, I think with all things parenthood, motherhood, you have to be kind of ready for anything. And look, tantrums are inevitable. They are part of the growing up process. So I actually suggest, you know, not to stifle these tantrums. I know they can be embarrassing. I know you're probably going to start to sweat and panic even more than, you know, your kids, especially if it's happening on an airplane or anything like that. So just incorporate that first tip. Just breathe. Know that every other parent on the planet has gone through the same thing that you're going through. And the third tip really is to just kind of let it happen. As hard as that might be, just, you know, this is a normal thing that kids go through. And like anything, it's not going to last forever. If you're in a department store and you can kind of quietly and you'll be quiet. The kid won't be quiet. If you can kind of get them to go into the family restroom to sort of let them run this out. If you're, you know, can get them back into the car and just let them go to town, let them feel all their feelings, have their emotions, reassure them that they're safe, that they're loved. And then, you know what, it probably won't even last that long, you know, when all things are said and done. I mean, we've all been through it. And that's what I remind myself all the time, is that I'm definitely not alone. I mean, this is why I love being a parenting editor, parenting expert, is that it's such a unifying thing.
Well, and I got to say, Bethany, we were talking about that earlier. I mean, that's probably what's the most precious part about all of those pictures and videos, is it just really like, parenting is the same across the board, whether you are a royal princess or a mom in New Jersey. I mean, it's just everybody kind of deals with the same thing. So,
you said
Bethany,
it, absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We so appreciate your insight, your tips, and thank you again for spending some time with us today.
All right, have a great day. Thank you.
You too, you too.
I love it. That topic is just so on point for all moms, for sure.
Absolutely. All right, so I think we're shuffling some things around a little bit, and we are going to head on over to meteorologist Mike Favetta for one more check of our weather. Mike, you got a little something special going on today, don't you?
We do. We've got a special birthday today, June 9th, our first Thursday show. Very excited about it. Happens to be my mom's birthday.
Oh,
so
happy birthday,
Mom. She goes by the nickname Mama Fav because
I love it.
She's kind of everybody's mom in the sense that, you know, friends, family, all that. So happy birthday, enjoying the cruise there down in the Bahamas today.
Oh,
with Dad.
good for her.
So
that's awesome.
A nice time there. We've also got some interesting weather that happened this morning and breaking news this morning on the morning show. The National Weather Service is currently investigating a possible tornado that happened overnight in Camden County. So we'll have more information later today as the crews from the Mount Holly office head down to Camden and do the survey and see if in fact a tornado did touch down overnight this morning in Camden County. Interesting to see with those storms that came through. Now on our weather menu for the rest of this afternoon, we have sunshine with temperatures that climb well into the upper 70s. Right at 6 o'clock this evening, maybe a quick little sprinkle in northern New Jersey, but otherwise we should stay mainly dry with highs that will climb into the upper 70s. Going forward, the pollen has been a problem. You've seen the coating of pollen on the car tops, I'm sure, and that continues right even into tomorrow, with today being a little bit lower thanks to the overnight rain. We're right back at the moderate level come tomorrow and Saturday, and then I think we see a little bit lower levels return on Sunday thanks to that rain that's in the forecast for this weekend. And it's just a little bit of rain. Wasn't expecting the washout that was forecast earlier this week, so the weather improved a little bit for this upcoming weekend, but there will still be a few showers at times. Highs climb into the mid and low 70s, and then we're back in the 80s come Monday and Tuesday of next week, with that heat really beginning to crank up later next week. Could see those highs as warm as 90 once we get to the end of next week. So some pretty warm weather on the way. Hope you enjoy the weather this weekend. Kara, Christina?
Very nice, Michael. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Happy birthday, Mama Fav.
Yay.
We love it. She's a big fan.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yes.
All right, let's get another Check Your Ride with Don Smith. We love him too.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Kara. And yeah, happy birthday to Mikey's mom. Happy birthday to you. Let's get you over to the maps here this morning. The maps, I should say, really the incident page from DOT. It's this building fire is really messing traffic up on westbound 70 in Cherry Hill out by Springdale Road out by the area of Salem Community College just before 295. That's a building fire still being clear. Then 23, you see it at the bottom of the screen. We have all lanes shut there south of 94, and that's for a water main break also being cleared. Now, there's also a broken down bus now being reported on 78, the local side, getting west of 55 in between Newark and Hillside. I want to show you the delays here. This is in the Marlton area as you head out to 295 and the Turnpike. So our issues are right in here. This is Springdale Road. Just west of that, that is where everything is closed. And we are almost back to 73 now. So you've got to really plan your travels out here this morning. If you use 70 to get out to 130, that is just going to be a tough spot until they kind of clear up some of that fire department activity here on this Thursday. 295, a little heavy there out through about exits 34, but the Parkway down the shore is rolling along nicely, and we still have some delays essentially getting over to the Bay Extension into the Holland, Lincoln, and George, all averaging about 25 minutes. That's what's happening here in the traffic center. Send it back to the studio to Christina and Kara.
So just a few minutes ago, we were talking about what to do with our human children, but our next guest has our fur babies all taken care of.
Yeah, Canine Resorts calls themselves the Ritz-Carlton of dog hotels. And joining us now is owner Debbie Hom. Debbie, thanks so much for being with us.
Hi, good morning. So nice to join you today.
Yeah, tell us about Canine Resorts. Is it just a boarding service or is it more?
So we have boarding and daycare. And when you board with us, we have all-inclusive, which means your dog is able to go and play all day in our indoor and outdoor facilities. We have also included with our boarding is our house food, which is a Blue Buffalo GI-sensitive diet type of food. But Canine Resorts is a cut above the competition. We really look into all the details. When you walk in, you'll see our beautiful crystal chandelier, the Italian tile and marble. I mean, we really try to make this a wow experience for our dogs. We just love our dogs, and they're treated like family. So why not, when we go on vacation, make it a really great experience for our dogs?
Debbie, that's incredible. And I understand you guys also have some special, additional special features and amenities that you provide for the animals, a lot of safety and health amenities as well?
Yes, that's true. So we have hospital grade ventilation systems. We use something called a PET ARA-PUV system.
Wow.
So there are 15 exchanges of air that goes through the system. And when it goes through it, it kills all the bacteria and germs. We also use hospital grade disinfectants. We have microbrand flooring, meaning the floors are sealed. So when we use this hospital grade disinfectant, it kills all the germs and bacteria. This is a very clean environment. There's a very strict cleaning protocol.
And people can check in on their pets either in person or virtually, right?
So we don't do that because we just want to spend all our time caring for our fur babies. We do have cameras which are used internally. So we're constantly monitoring out all the dogs. The dogs are never left alone. Mm-hmm. When they're in the daycare, when they're in their facilities, yes.
So, Debbie, are you, what happens maybe like if a dog gets a little unruly or sometimes, they're like people, like children, they have their moments, how's stuff like that handled?
So our staff is all fully trained and certified. They went through a very rigorous Canine Resorts training program where they were taught how to monitor the dogs and look out for certain behaviors. Well, you're right. Sometimes when they come to a new environment, they might be a little stressed. So sometimes they just need to go back to their room and just rest a little. Just like humans, sometimes kids just need a little time to themselves.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. We definitely all kind of need time to ourselves. Where can people find you at Canine Resorts?
Sure. So we're located at 21 Route 10 East in Succossana.
Awesome.
Okay, very nice. And what's your website?
It's canineresorts.com/Roxbury.
Very cool.
Amazing.
Debbie Hum, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We so appreciate your time. Canine Resorts.
I saw the chandeliers. I kind of want to go there myself.
I know. I got to get Rox set. Rox is the unruly dog for sure. Mine's the one that's got to go to her room without a doubt.
Timeouts.
Yeah. Debbie Hum, thanks so much. We so appreciate it. All right, guys, that about wraps things up for us today. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Yeah, thanks so much for spending your time with us. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.
And if you miss us, we're always on at NJ Morning Show. Check us out. Click follow.